Hello guys, welcome to Kboxtv. It's your boy Kofi Basic Jr. and today we're here again with another guest all the way coming from the USA. He's done a lot for the sport, guys. I'm super excited to bring him on the show, because he's a legend already. Even though he's active, I see him as one of the legends of the game already. And we'll get to chit chat with him, get to know more about him. Of course, you know what we can find on the internet, but it's always the best to fight, get it from the fighter himself. So he'll get to tell us about it, and of course, he has a fight coming up on Saturday night. He will tell us his preparation about it and all that. So, guys, stick and stay. Don't go too far. And let me bring you or welcome you guys straight to the legend himself. Guys, welcome, Austin Trout. Austin, welcome to Kbox TV.
Thank you for having me, Kofi. Hello, how's everybody doing? I appreciate y'all for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're super excited to also have you on the show, Trout. First, Trout, boxing. How did it all come about for you?
I started when I was like 10. My mother was a big boxing fan. She used to say things like, "You see that? That's what a real man looks like. This is a
Wow.
very hard sport. Everybody can't do it. Only real men can do this thing." So I kind
Right.
of had that in my head that if I want to be a real man, I got to be a boxer. And I,
Right.
at the age of 10, I went to the gym in my hometown, and I told her, make sure, bring me in there. It was love at first sight.
Wow. We usually get to get or you usually get to hear the men or the fathers taking their sons to the gym. And for your case, it's the mom. How was
It's,
the connection like?
so, my mom was my biggest fan, although like my first amateur fight, she was crying. She didn't, she didn't like it. She learned to love it. And now, she goes everywhere to watch the fight. She's not coming to this fight, because of COVID, but once COVID kind of goes away,
She's
she'll
gonna return. Right. Wow. So would you say you were a mommy's boy?
absolutely. Absolutely, big time mama's boy. The reason why I wanted to be a fighter is because my mom said that that's what a real man is, and I wanted to be the real man that my mom, sees. So, absolutely.
Great. So being a real man, according to your mother's words, as
Yeah.
to be a boxer, do you feel fulfilled now?
Um. Uh. As far as the game, as my career goes, I'm proud of the accomplishments I had, but I'm not suffice. I want another world title. I want a few more big fights, and then I'll be happy. But
Right.
as far as making my mama proud, nah, I did that. Yeah, she's proud
Right.
of me. Now she's waiting for me to retire, so I gotta hurry up and get this next world title so I can retire from my mother.
Nice. Now let's go back in the day. I mean, when you started fighting to your amateur days, how many fights did you get as an amateur, and how did it shape you to become the pro fighter that you are today?
Um, well, I had a lot of amateur fights. I had close to 200, if not more
Wow.
than 200 amateur fights. Um, in a lot of those fights, I got when I was about 14, 15, 16, 17.
Mhm,
That's when the majority of my fights took place.
mhm,
In being a little kid, being 10 years old, you don't necessarily know what it's like to give your all to one thing. Like I was trying to play basketball, football,
mhm. Okay.
baseball, you know what I mean? And just hanging out
Right.
with my friends and whatnot. So I didn't take it as serious as I started to take it when I turned about 13, 14. And the reason why
Okay.
when I turned about 13 and 14, I had to start taking it serious because them kids started hitting hard at 13. So he was like, "Look, I'm either have to go all the way with this or stop because you're gonna get hurt because you can't
Right.
play boxing." Um, but being in shape, I found out makes you more sharp. You're faster. Your punches are more fluid. Your your agility is on top when you're in better shape. You know what I mean?
Mm,
You can be an agile dude without the
mm.
shape, but once you get in some type of fitness, it just makes everything bigger. You're more athletic. You're more explosive. So I try to make sure I stay in shape.
Right. I got you. So after gathering about almost or more than 200 amateur fights in, and decided to go pro. How was the feeling like when you mounted or you went into the ring for the first time? What was going through your head? Could you walk us through the first time you walked into the ring for your first pro, if you remember?
So it was tight, man. It was definitely a feeling that I keep with me, I mean, as far as remembering why I love the sport. And it's also a feeling I'm still searching for. Every time I step in the ring, as long as I feel like it was the first time, I'm nervous. Especially on my pro debut. My pro debut, I fought a guy who had like 70, 80 something fights.
Wow.
Yeah, but I
Wow.
mean,
And you
he
weren't
was
scared.
he was like 14 and 66 to be honest, but he still had 80 fights in
Wow.
my pro debut. So I was nervous. I didn't know how the little gloves were gonna feel, how taking a shot without the headgear was gonna feel. But I remember when that bell rang and we had our first exchange. I think he called me with like a little nonsense jab, and I was like, "Oh, this is it. This is where we are." And I remember hitting with those little gloves, and you could feel everything. Your knuckles going all the way through it, and
Yeah.
I fell in love again with the sport.
Right.
I was
Right.
amateur for a good 10 years, and Olympic alternate. And when I turned pro, I felt like I just was brand new to it.
Right. 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 Guys, we're talking to Austin Trout. He has a fight coming up on Saturday night in New Mexico. We'll get into it very, very soon. As you can see, he's already in weight. He's already in weight. I see him take a few sips of his of
I'm
his
on my
drink, so
way.
I know that. Yeah, I can see that he's already on weight. But before we get into the fight that he has coming up on Saturday, I mean, we'd like to ask him a few more questions. Trout, in 2011, you shocked the world. You took a title. You became a world champion. Something that I'm sure that you were working so hard for, and finally you were able to get that title when you defeated Rogoberto Alvarez for that particular title. How was the feeling like? Walk us through it, your preparations, and how it all went down, and for you to become the world champion at the super welterweight division in 2011.
It was definitely. I felt like it was predestined by God Himself, and I say that because being a black man from New Mexico, I was never meant to be a world champion. In fact, when I turned pro, I remember I couldn't get signed because all the promoters were saying that black people don't support each other, and you're a
Mm.
New Mexican, so you definitely ain't gonna get
Yeah.
support. So we'll pass. And so I was real independent the whole time coming up and working through the ranks. And when I
Mm.
got the title shot, I actually was on the shelf for 15 months. I didn't have to fight for 15 months, and then they
Yeah.
finally, because that was the mandatory, and the politics really screwed me on that one. Shout out to the
Mhm,
WBA for messing me up.
mhm.
And finally, I get the shot, and I remember I had a dream because it was in Mexico, and I was fighting Rigoberto, who's from Guadalajara, fighting him
Yeah.
in Guadalajara, and I was
Wow.
a little nervous about I mean, everything. One, the cartel war was
Hmm.
real high at that time. I
True.
was nervous about, just getting a bad decision and I remember the night before I left to Mexico, I had this dream that I was in
Mm.
this Mexican restaurant that I usually eat at home. And
Okay.
I asked the waitress for like some salt, and she was
Okay.
pissed. And she came and she got her cook, she got her like the whole staff who came to jump me. And I'm fighting everybody in this Mexican restaurant. Then all of a sudden the customers are fighting, and I'm knocking every one of them out. Bang, bang, knock 'em out. And I woke up and I was like, if that ain't God telling me that I'm going to be victorious down in Mexico, I don't know what is. So
I got you.
I wasn't even really nervous no more. And trust me, Mexico is fire. To go from fight there, man, they love their fighters. Even if you're the opponent, you show
Mm.
them respect. They give you all the adoration and respect that you deserve. So I'm very happy and excited to be going back to Mexico. I made a bit of a career fighting in Mexico. I've been there about 4 or 5 times, and every
Mm.
time it was nothing. It was a great experience. I'd rather fight in Mexico than fight in Texas. Let's put it that way.
Interesting. That's a very interesting story there. And once again, it's one of the victories that we go back in time and go like, yeah, that's Stroud, man. This guy is like is a beast. And one of the fights that I have watched many times is your fight against Miguel Cotto. It was, I think, it was like it was fireworks. I mean, you were here. Tell us about the fight.
I mean, it was a good situation, and it was another one of those times where I knew I was gonna be victorious. I was counted out by my own hometown. They're like, "I'm glad you got the fight, but good luck on your last fight." I'm like, "I'm gonna win. What are you talking about?" Anyway,
Right, right.
going into the Madison Square Garden and being faced with a wall of
Wow.
boos and jeers because the all the Puerto Ricans they love their Miguel Cotto.
Yeah.
But I remember by the sixth round, they all got quiet. It was every shot I hit them with, you could hear it clear because they just shut up.
They just
And
shut
I'm
up.
telling you, the experience that I took from fighting over in Mexico, fighting over in Canada, and wherever I had to go, that
Mhm.
helped because I was always just shutting the crowd up, being
Wow.
the travel agent.
And being the underdog, I guess you love being the
Yeah,
underdog then.
I do like it. Once I wasn't so comfortable being in that favorite position. Always perform, but I would love to prove people wrong.
Mm, mm. Interesting. There was this fight that came up that you were about to unify a division. That's the fight against Canelo, and it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Walk us through that day. What happened? What went wrong?
Well, I mean, all the fuckery that was going around that fight with the drug testing,
Hmm.
um, with the the judges,
Yeah.
with the open scoring, with the one-sided rematch clause. There was so much kind of built up against me that I I knew before I get into that ring that I needed to at least drop him multiple times,
Uh,
stop him to get a win. And
right.
after the fourth round, I was
Mm,
getting the rhythm. I felt he
mm,
was reaching. I started catching him at will. And I went to the corner and told my coach, like, I got him reaching. He's reaching
mm,
now. But that was the
mm.
round that they gave us the open scoring. And that's when they said that my coach looks at the score and says, "Sorry, son, no more boxing. You have to go after him. Nobody's giving you any credit." I said, no, what's the score? He said, 4 rounds to 0, Canelo.
Wow.
I was like, what?
Wow.
I thought it
So
was 3-1 at
demotivation,
least,
man.
3-1 at the best. And so, and of
Wow.
course, Canelo got that same card too. It's like, oh yeah, you're winning. You're not doing nothing. Just stand up.
Just yeah, right.
And I've never seen Canelo run as much in my life, except for when he fought Triple G.
Yeah,
So that's that. I'll pop my collar on that. I made Canelo
right,
run the whole fight, and I
right,
still outfought him. I outlanded him, but I didn't get the decision. So
right.
here's what it is. I I try not to cry over spilt milk, but obviously that was the fight that changed the course of my career. I was
Yeah,
on the way to superstardom, and
yeah,
I didn't achieve it. You know what I mean? I
right.
fell short, so dust
Mm.
myself off and try again. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. And the fight against Canelo, like you said, I watched the fight. I feel like it could have gone either way. But then, of course, from a lot of things that you said, I mean, the politics and then, of course, the opening scoring and all those things affected. But is Canelo a fighter? Is he a fighter you would want to fight again?
I would love to. He's the cash cow. You're gonna make good money fighting Canelo. I would
Mm.
love to. Granted, he's gotten a lot better since we fought. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's true.
He's gotten a lot better since we fought, and he is the best right now.
Mm.
But I've always been in this game to fight the best. Now, am I
Right.
gonna go to 168? I mean,
Mm.
I don't know. You can meet at 60, but depending on that price tag, I'll do whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to
Because
get another shot at that.
right, right. And another two fighters that you fell short that had or has that have the name in the sport is Charlo and then Hurd. I mean, those two fights as well. You retired with the Hurd fight, and then you lost on points to the Charlo fight. Well, could you tell us about those fights too as well?
Well, the first Hurd fight, the first Charlo fight, Jamal Charlo, I feel point wise, you know what I mean, from the fourth round to 12, it was all me. Like I was winning all those rounds. You may have given him a round or two, but you know, whatever. It's still neither here or there. With the Hurd fight, I was whooping Hurd's ass, and then my body, you know, just gave out on me. And now, for the Hurd fight, I didn't. My last fight before I fought Hurd was Charlo.
It was Charlo, right?
17 months prior, so I was on a layoff for 17 months before I got to fight Hurd, and I can't help but to think that I would have stopped him had I been a little bit active. But again, you know, not crying over spilled milk. Just run that back. Run it back while I'm active.
Right. The world is hit, unfortunately, by this COVID-19 thing. I'm sure you had amazing plans for 2020, but even though things didn't go the way we wanted it to go, you still squeezed in a fight in 2020. You were able to win that fight. I'm sure it's all part of you building your wins and getting that big fight, like you just said, towards for the beginning of the show. 2020, COVID-19, and all these things. How has it been for you and your family?
Well, again, it stopped my plans as far as making a comeback, and I was making my comeback at 147. That fight I made 149. We wanted to just test it out, and I planned on testing the 147 bracket again in April in Ireland. So I had a nice little world tour. I was actually going to go to oh man, now it just crossed my mind. Rwanda. I was going to go to Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Yeah, and fight in May. Have a fight in Ireland in April. But then, you know, of course, COVID had its own plans. Right. Yeah. And, you know, it's a bit rough because it stopped my streams of income. You know, the gym is a big part. You know, I have multiple streams of income coming from the gym. A lot of my businesses were just put on hold. But it put in perspective that my job, it really isn't that important on this big scheme of things. Right. And I need to figure out how I can service humanity better. Now, I still want to fight, and I still have it in me. I still got the passion. I feel like I still have the skill set, you know, to keep it going. But it definitely helped me put in perspective what's really important. Now, for me personally, boxing is very important because it's allowed me to provide for my family, see the world, show my family the world. You know, there's experiences that boxing has given me that no other place could give me, no other sport, no other job could have done. But as far as service to my fellow humans, it's not important at all. So I kind of I'm using boxing now to find not just the platform, but to find the vehicle that I could use to serve humanity better.
Wow. Hey man, I don't even know the next question to ask you because what you just said is something that I'm so proud of, and I just pray and hope that all these things that you said will come through for you, especially for you to provide for your family and for you to go as high as possible to also provide for the others. Guys, I'm talking to one of the best in the game. He held the title from 2011 to 2013, and he has a fight coming on at age 35, still giving the world some of his best moments. And he said some of his best moments are yet to come. Now tell us about your fight that is coming on Saturday, the 6th of February.
That's right. Saturday, 6th of February. You can stream it on Fight TV. So if you go to the website, fight.tv, you can find the stream. It's another run at 147. So, you know, I'm fighting Juan Garcia, 21-7. He's a tough guy, but you know what? He's not on my level. I'm going to go prove that. This is to see how my endurance lasts at 147. And I'm planning on fighting, you know, once a month and once every other month. Shout out to Paquimes Promotions down in Mexico. We're helping giving me a vehicle and giving me my fighters a vehicle to showcase our skills. Nice. You know, COVID really put a wrench in a lot of the fights, but they kept going. It's going to be crowdless. So I need you all to go get that stream at Fight.tv so you can watch.
Fight.tv, right. You just heard it from him. Fight.tv. We'll definitely share it on Kboxtv on Saturday night for y'all to also click the link and go check the fight out. So, I mean, stick and stay with Kboxtv. We'll post the link there and keep supporting, you know, our champ like we've always done. And we hope that you bring us a victory on Saturday night. Your fight against Garcia, what do you know about him?
I know he's tough. I know he likes to throw hooks. I know he likes to stay on the offensive. and he's always coming forward. So I think I'll be able to eat real good this fight.
Nice, 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 nice. I man, I can't wait for Saturday night.
Yeah, me neither, man. Me neither. And I can't wait after the fight. Let's get back on. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the next plans.
Right, 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 right. All right, guys. We're talking to Trout. He has a fight coming up on God willing Saturday night on Fight TV. We hope that he brings us a victory. And um, what I liked about a lot of things that he said is the fact that he likes to give back, especially for the people in the streets and all that. And that's one thing I really, really praise fighters who are in the game because you don't really get to see that. Everybody's about the bling and all that. Only a few of them are just able to, really give back to the society. Now, my question that I want to ask is, yeah, you were supposed or you were almost coming to Rwanda to fight. Will we in Africa that support you, will we ever see you fight on the African continent?
I got you. Before I'm done, before I hang up the gloves, I have to come fight in Africa at least one time. I'm trying to hit every continent, but the one that I need that's on my bucket list is I got to get to Africa. And, and I would love to do a tour and see all the countries in Africa if I could, but, time permitting, I'll definitely at least get there to fight at least one time.
Nice, nice. We'll be glad to really, watch you in action and not behind screens. We'll be we're very glad. We're very good feeling to have it. But before you go, for the millions of fans that we have, the fans around the world, the people who will be able to watch this tape. The up and coming fighters. What advice would you like to take to give them?
Perfect your craft. It's especially in this time nowadays when someone puts a camera in your face and you get a lot of views, you might think you made it. But every day you got to perfect your craft. I've been boxing for 25 years, and every day I got to go back over the basics, the jab, the step, the 1-2. All right, so perfect your craft and never forget the basics, and you'll be a strong fighter. You'll be able to last the test of time.
And you also said that you're trying to keep going to get one big shot at the division or in the division now, or at this particular time that boxing is happening. Who do you really want to fight?
I really want to fight Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Adrian Broner.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a very interesting list. That's a very interesting list. And among all of these guys in the welterweight division, who do you think is ruling it for you at the moment?
Spence. Spence is the king right now. Spence is the king. Crawford's close second. I'm gonna be the close third.
We believe so. We believe so. Interesting. All right, guys. We just had Trout on the show. We're really glad that he was able to make time for us. Come on, and we wish him well. And yeah, like I said, I'll post the link for you guys to be able to watch the fight on Kboxtv on Saturday night. Make sure you're able to tune in and watch him, as he goes to eat against Garcia on Saturday night in New Mexico. All right. Thanks, Cham, for coming on our show. We really, really appreciate you. Your last words for everybody.
And may the Most High bless you all. Thank you for the love and support.
I'll be really glad to have you on. Thanks, man. All the best, man. Okay. All right, guys. My guest on the show was Trout. All right. So we just finished talking to Austin Trout on the show. It's been a super, super exciting interview. He's going to be in action on Saturday night in New Mexico against Juan Garcia. It's a fight that he says he's trying to prepare and to build his some more wins and get a very big shot at the world title soon, to get another world title soon. So we wish him well. I hope that we'll be able to make that happen. I want to say a very big shout out to our coordinator all the way in the USA, Robert, for making this happen. Stick and stay. You never know who we're going to bring on the show next. Kboxtv, that's all we do. We try to bring you closer to the people and the fighters that you support. We hope that we'll be able to get another fighter very closer to you and get to digest and get to also get to know him well, especially now that boxing is back and they're all jumping into the ring. would like to bring them on very closer to you so that we can all rally behind them as they, do what they do, and then bring in that process of bringing us the happiness and excitement that we gather from the sport of boxing. Until another time, you have a very good evening, or a good morning or good afternoon wherever you are. And here in Ghana is always is in the evening. And so I want to say a very good evening to all our Ghanaian followers and our African supporters and fans. Really appreciate you guys for always making time to watch us anytime you're here. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please kindly hop onto it. The link is in the description below. Just click on the link and go onto YouTube right now and subscribe to our channel, because we have a lot in stock for you this year. We try as much as possible to get as many fighters as possible to be able to, get to know them more and more, especially for those that we keep watching them, we've been following them for a while. So that, we throw our support behind them as they continue to bring us excitement in our house. All right, guys, I had fun. I hope you also did too. Very big shout outs to Kojo Denchi for his comments. And the rest of the guys that also commented on the show. We really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys all. Stick and stay with Kbox TV. And anytime you say a prayer, say one for us too. Until then, have a very good evening.